Hello and happy Sunday. I just wanted to get on here. I'm going to leave my work shirt off, okay, as much as I possibly can. But I just wanted to get on here and say this, all right? You might be in a situation. Now, let me give a background about me. There's a lot of things that I've done, okay? But it's also a lot of things that I have done that I've been delivered from, okay? But I will say this, and I do not care if you argue me down in the comments and all that other stuff. Bloop, bloop, bloop. It's my body. Cool. Do you. But I'm telling you from someone who's been in the situation, been the side piece, dated the married men willingly and intentionally. All those things. Okay. I mean, I was out here spreading it out. Okay. I'm going to tell you this. No matter what that married man tells you, how much he hates his wife, he's not leaving his wife. Doesn't matter if they sleep in separate bedrooms. I learned from a long time ago that it is cheaper to keep her. If he finds out that anything that's going to damage his pockets as a result of getting a divorce from this woman, he's going to do everything to protect his pockets. Because one thing that I learned is that a man's value, he places his value, or he places high value on money. Okay. And one thing's for sure. Okay. A man, any type of notion that tampers with a man's pockets, you're not about to mess with. And so if he knows that he's about to lose a lot of money from said divorce, if he knows he's about to lose a whole lot of money in this divorce, this man is going to do what he can to protect all of his assets. He's going to do what he can. So you thinking that this man was going, oh, well, he said that he's going to leave his wife. Baby, he ain't leaving his wife. And even if he does leave his wife, you got to carry all the emotional baggage that he has collected over the years being married to this other woman. This man literally stepped out in the middle of his marriage to get with you. So what I learned, the same way you got him, going to be the same way you lose him. At that point, and I learned that a long time ago, I was like, nah, I'm not messing with no kind of married man. And he could sit up there and say all kinds of things. Oh, well, he's not lying to me. Baby, he lying to you. Straight to your face. And he's blue in the face lying to you. Because you pick up on certain patterns and habits. He don't call you after a certain time. And he can only speak to you at a certain time. And he can only see you at a certain time, baby. He's married. He's married. And I was actually watching something on social media. It was like, oh, no, he ain't married, baby. You just described all the traits of a very married man. He's lying to you. He's lying to you. So one thing that I learned is that as someone who was a side piece at one point, okay, what I've learned is that there's some pieces of you that need healing. And you're trying to cover it up with sex. That's the reason why you don't want to get emotionally involved with being in a relationship, or it's too much emotional involvement for you to manage a relationship, but it's just enough emotional involvement for you to have sex with this person. You know what that makes you? A free prostitute. Even my dog confirmed it. That makes you a free prostitute. And yeah, he might get you things and all that stuff. Okay, so you still a prostitute. Still a prostitute. So one thing that I had to learn is that I needed to get delivered from that, because I had to realize that if I were to use sex to get what I wanted, that would make me a manipulator, a liar. And I wanted none of those things in my life. So at that point, that's why I was like, you know what? This ain't for me. I'm not trying to manipulate nobody. I'm not trying to lie to nobody. I want to be like as honest as I can, not to receive or whatever, not to receive the best, not only just to receive the best, but you know, when I get to heaven and God is going to pull up everything I did, good and bad. I don't want him keep pulling up the receipts of when I went out here and allowed myself to be prostituted just because I'm not dealing with the emotional stuff that is going on. The Bible talks about how our hearts are sick, right? And so when we want to follow our hearts and all this other stuff, you got to be careful with that, because you might be following your heart into some sin, into stuff that's going to get you caught up. And then let's talk about, even if you are just out here, you're not dealing with any married man, you just out here giving yourself, you have sex with any man you want to, and blue, 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 blue. Hey, look, listen, don't argue me. Okay. But are you okay with sleeping with somebody else's husband? Yeah, he told you he's not married, and he's probably telling the truth, but someday he might decide to get married. So in that someday, with him deciding to get married, you are sleeping with somebody else's husband. And then when you get married, that random man that you had sex with in the club, after the club, you're carrying his skeletons with you, and you're going to carry his skeletons and your skeletons into your husband, who may have skeletons himself or may not be ready for all the skeletons that you have. That's why the Bible really talks about abstaining from sex before marriage. Like, I need for everybody to realize it's not just, oh, it's just over, it's law and I'm supposed to do this. Erica Campbell got on a radio show one day and she said her youth pastor compared premarital sex to chicken nuggets in a box. You get these nice, fresh, hot chicken nuggets when you go to McDonald's every time. Well, sometimes they don't always be hot, but they're uneaten, right? So you get these nuggets from McDonald's. Having sex before marriage is like expecting a nice, fresh box of nuggets, and you open up the box and all them nuggets are chewed up. All of them. All of them. Somebody else has had them in their mouth and spit them out and put them in the box. That's what it's like having sex before marriage. Now, I'm not a perfect saint. I'm not saying that, oh, well, I'm not going around saying it's easy. It ain't, okay? Because I've had sex before marriage, all right? But in that, I want you to ask yourself, like, well, how does this make me feel? Is this meaningful? Is it something that, I can see a future with? And legit, if you can't see a future with this individual, then just be done. It's just not worth it. I know that, like I said, I know y'all want to get out here and do what you want to do and think it's cool to be out here barebacking and all this other stuff. Just stop that. I can't advocate that enough. Like, just stop that. It's just, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. You are, just think about it like this. Like, you're putting yourself in more anxiety because you're worried about how this person looks at you, because you're naked, right? This ain't your husband. You butt naked. And somebody that's not your husband. And so you got anxiety about looks. You worried about, shaving this, plucking that, making sure you take the right supplements so it tastes and smells like this, and blah, 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 blah. That's so much anxiety for someone that God did not give you as your spouse. That's so much. It's too much. And some would call it lazy, that, you don't want to do all this for your man. No, I don't want to do all that for my man. I want to do all that for my husband. That's it. I want to keep it trim, plucked, clean, smelling good for my husband. Not just any Negro off the street. It's not worth it for me. It's not worth it on a heavenly mindset thing. It's not worth it on an emotional mindset thing. It's not worth it on a biblical anything. It's just not worth it. Now, have I backslidden? Yes, I have backslidden. It's not easy. That's the reason why the Bible talks about putting the full armor of God on at all times. That's why the Bible talks about focusing on things that are honorable all the time. That's why the Bible talks about praying always, all the time. Because the enemy is always prowling about, seeking whom they can devour, every and any time. It is not easy. Okay? Worth it? Yes. Easy? No. But anything worth having is worth fighting for. That's not biblical. Don't say it is, because it ain't. So I figure I'd help you. Have a good day.